Hi everyone, so today I have this awesome new set that Tonic Studios has launched for their birthday week. I hope you guys are enjoying this year's birthday week. A lot of amazing new kits and dies and just amazing stuff. So I want to say that they did send this item free of charge from a review. And of course, all opinions are my own. And the links I'll have there in the description box for the US and the UK will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. You guys, this is such an amazing, comprehensive set. I know I've used amazing several times already, but I'm just super happy with the way this looks, what it does. If you guys love, exploding boxes, those kinds of things, this is, going to be something for you. So this is the a box of memories, my memory book die set. So a lot of times they come out with these amazing memory books for their birthday week, maybe Cyber Week kind of launch kind of things. This year it's this guy, and what's so nice, look at all these hexagons. Look how many are in there and in the decorative pieces. It's going to make 4 different layers of explosion box. So again, if you just want to make a little guy, maybe I'll do that today to, do a sample. Maybe you want all 4 layers. Maybe you just want the outer layer and this middle layer. Or maybe you want just, these 2 layers. There's just all kinds of ways to play with it. I would love to, skip layers, like I said, and then you can put like treats in there. So instead of it being filled with another layer of, the papers, maybe use this outer one, some treats, and then this guy, right? That would allow it to still open and have different layers of treats, right? Or just however you want to do that. If you want to use it for like a gift packaging, if you want to use it for like gift packaging as opposed to the memory box type thing, or both, right? You mix and match those things. It can have gifts and images and all that kind of cute stuff. So I do want to give you some measurements straight off the top. I will say, like I said, I received samples. Yours are going to be in a nice carrier, depending on how they're releasing this, it might have a few other items with it, but the link will definitely pop you over there and you can read all about what it actually comes with. So in this direction, and I mean, if I was going to run through a machine that was smaller, I would go this way, right? Because obviously this is a little deeper, but so let me give you that measurement. And Tonic is very good about giving you the measurements of the largest die in the set also. It is 5 1/8. I would say a little hair over 5 1/8 inches. And in this, direction, we're talking about just under 6 inches. And that's metal to metal. Everything else is smaller than that. I think that's the largest die. Everything else, if you can accommodate this, you're going to be able to accommodate everything else here. What's really sweet, I love this. It has pockets, like, in the inside of your flaps and things. I mean, just lots of different cool things to help you embellish your books or to make them really nice. Excuse me, I think I said books, but box. Okay, so again, we have all these guys right here. As far as cutting goes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 that cut. And then you have inlays, 1, 2, 3 different inlays, right? For the hexagon shape. You have like little stars. You have the word, sorry, I just was like, let me find this word. So it's friends is what it says. It's very scripty and I couldn't make it out. So friends, and then it has a background piece for that. The word family and a background piece for that. The word memories, that one I can see clearly with the background piece for that. You have some little hearts, right? You have, this other one down here, on here. On this day, again with the background piece, you have a latch to close it. It works with that in this piece. You're going to double that up, one on either side so you can put it in there. We have the side pieces, of course, to make the explosion boxes. So you have, the flaps. So each, let's say one of these guys is going to get a flap, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then at the top, they each need to be held closed, right? So you're going to have 4 different sizes. My goodness, I am just like tripping all over my words here. So you're going to have 4 different like lid sizes for the 4 different flaps, right? The sizes that layer into each other. Really lovely. Each one does come with some layering pieces that are going to be the same. So for the smaller guy, next up, and next up, you have this beautiful inlay, just kind of a more geometric design. And then you have this guy that's very lattice kind of design. So of course, you drop it in, you make your piece, your background layer, or just the drop in, however you want. But I do appreciate that they give you 2 different designs that you can play with. And I do like that it comes with a couple of these guys, right? Each one. They could just put one, but they do have 2 different ones. So you can run things through a little faster. And yeah, so then you have your pockets. It looks like the pockets will fit the largest one. And then let's see. You can say there's a pocket for that large guy. And then the second to the smallest. So big guy, and then this guy will have a pocket option. So there you go. I suppose you could trim things down, make them a little different if you want to squeeze them into, you know, the other sizing. I'm going to grab some paper, and again, I like to do step by step to show you kind of how to put that together. Not kind of, but exactly how. And so I think I'm going to do, like I said, maybe this middle size one. No, maybe just these two. Make it a little petite one. So this one and this one. Yeah, that's right. That way I can make a pocket for you guys too. So I will do that, but let me just grab some base papers, you know, whatever papers you love to work with. And always, whenever I'm making like a 3D item, I like to use heavyweight construction type paper. So like 350 GSM, 300 GSM, 110 pound, something like that. So I'll be... Oh, as I'm looking for my construction paper, I will say this is also coming out. I do not know right now, sorry guys, if this is a bundle or if this is a separate purchase, but the Autumnal Moments Autumn/Fall Collection paper pack. Lovely. Let me open this up so you can show you guys. Can't believe I was moving on without showing this to you. I will use this for the accent colors today. So 36 sheets of luxury 8-inch 200 GSM cardstock, so you can imagine that's nice and good weight. With the construction weight of this, it's going to be a really sturdy project. 3 each of 9 double-sided designs, 3 each of 3 luxurious bronze foil designs, acid and lignin free, of course, 12 foiled tags and stamps for use with their tags and stamps die set. So this is die set. If you're loving, you know, Tonic papers, you're really going to want to have, because they do this with some of their different sets. I actually have the pattern pack here, the Twinkling Traditions, and it also has these tags and like little strips and things, and that die set will help you cut all these things. As you can see, they're the same, it's just different designs, right? So you're gonna want that die set. So they're showing you here the little squirrel over here. It looks like little rabbits that I see every morning. We have rabbits and we just leave them alone. It's fine, they can eat whatever they want out there, no big deal. Deer, little owl, oh, little deer there. A little hedgehog, I suppose, right? Cute fox. Beautiful colors already. So 3 each of each page, right? Or each paper. So just, again, just gorgeous and very fall autumn feel there. Look at how pretty that is. I love the little leaves. You can imagine the crinkle of those and everything. Gorgeous colorway. There you go. Oh, did I put the right one? I was going to say, I think I gave you the back of a different one. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I showed you the back of this one, right? So very pretty, and there's those, you know, leaves and flowers, and this one is this colorway. Pretty much same design, yes, but just different background, so it just really changes that up. We have this dark, beautiful background. I love this, a little smaller perspective. Hope you can tell than like something like this one. And then that's the back side of that guy. Same thing, same pattern, just different background colors. So pretty. I'm loving that deep color in there with it. It's almost like a purple, almost borderline, you know, black colorway. Really, really cool. And then again with those beautiful softer colors on this side. And then this guy, look at those flowers. So pretty. Oh, like a watercolor look to them. And on the back side, it just has kind of like a ghosted pattern there with the leaves. And then we have this guy. And so is that the same as this one? They look totally different just because of the background, the way you can, the different things that pop, right? Yeah, it's the same design, just different colorway in the background. And then that soft color of the leaves. And look at this, very lovely. So cut aparts, or you maybe use a die to cut some of these things. There are different shapes and different styles, you know, more rectangular here. It's a little more round. This one's a little more kind of oval in the shape. Cozy nights and home lights. Remember that autumn. Just really different. And on the back, same kind of thing. Remember that fall, golden days and cherished moments. Different sentiments in there. Very cool. So this one, again, some different cut apart type things, memories. Leaves may fall, but our friendship holds firm. So hopefully you can see things like memories and remember that fall, remember the autumn. Go back to this set, right? And the memories here again. Ours is a love for all seasons. Leaves may fall, but our family stands tall. Really, really pretty. Cut aparts, or you can use your dies to have different layers here. So cute. Jane Eyre, it says. And look how the little creatures. It's so pretty. Really soft and serene. And the back side, let me show you the difference of these two. They are different things going on. Okay, there you go. Ooh, look at this. That, again, that beautiful kind of bronze foil. Really pretty. And of course the paper smells amazing. It smells like really nicely printed paper. And then this design here. I guess the flowers go this way. They're just all over, so it's just a scatter of flowers and little pumpkins here and there. I love that. And then this guy, again with a little, it's like eucalyptus, and what that is. Whenever you see like an arrangement, it has those little bits. That's really pretty, but that part is foiled. And then the back side, you have a beautiful ghosty kind of pattern. Leaves. And then cut aparts. And I feel foil on the back or something, yeah. So cut aparts with like little postcard looking things, words like memories, treasured moments. So again, all these fun things you can just kind of add into your memory box. And then this side, look at that. Look how pretty this is. Love that. Love the little postcard, little bit there. And then all that foiling. So of course, you know, I'm going to want to use this side. Okay, guys. Now I am going to pair that with like a cream color, basically. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So as little or as much as you would like to do with these, you know, with the pockets, I know they're recommending with that larger one, like put all 6 pockets. Maybe you want to do 2 pockets, or maybe 1 pocket, like whatever it is you want to do, or all 6, right? I mean, that'd be great too. What I'm looking at, okay. So a couple things. The instruction just shows you know how to put these guys on the sides. As I'm looking at them, I'm pretty sure you're going to need to use the die that's right next to the next one, right? Because the lid only has to be a little bit bigger than the base of your project. So if I were to pull this one out, for me, this is the base, and then this one is going to be the lid. And I hope you can see that how they're paired. So for the largest one, this is going to be the lid die because it's bigger than this piece. That's the base die. Right, this one's the base. And it's also, you know, decorative die or whatever for the very lid if you want, with these inlays and all that kind of fun stuff. So for the next layer, you're going to want this guy for the base, and this is your lid. Okay? So the one that's just a little bit larger is going to be the lid. This one's going to be the base. So I'm just pointing those out because clearly I was going to make these 2 inside ones. So, okay. So let's put that back. You know, I'm thinking out here, and I was like, oh, I was going to do this one. No, actually, I was going to do the next one. So for the ones we're doing, you're going to want, again, this guy and this guy. And then the inside one, you know, the smallest one is going to be this last 2. Okay. Sorry, I was getting over ahead of myself. I was going to start making different sizes that I wasn't planning on today. Okay, so we still need, we're going to need 2 of each one. So hopefully you can see how that's made. So this one's a little bit larger, a little bit smaller. 2 of each of these guys, right? And I always try to, you know, squeeze things in a way that preserves my paper. You know, if that's what I'm going to do, if I'm going to put this in the tangerine, just get them kind of a little bit closer to each other. Again, save as much paper as you can. Put a little tape so those guys don't move. And again, I always try to run through as many as I can, whatever size machine you have that will accommodate, right? Okay. Oh, that guy's going to need a little more tape. It's because I used an old piece and I didn't want it to really touch anything. It's like, why would I use that? I don't know. Okay. And then you have your side flaps. So you're going to need 6. Again, I'm making the 2 smallest ones. So you're going to need 6 of each of these guys, excuse me. So however you want to fit these guys in, you know, wherever, but you're going to want 6 of those, of each one. And we're also going to have our sides. Right now, again, I'm not doing the decoration, so it's going to be these 2 smaller ones. These are the 2 larger ones, as you can see. So I'm going to take this guy, and you need 3 of each of these because they each cover 2 sides, right? And we're doing hexagons, so that doesn't quite fit there. But, you know, wherever I can get these guys, you'll probably get the whole project done in 2 sheets of, you know, A2 size cardstock. Now, if I move these over just a little bit, I can fit that in there, or just wait until I've run it through, and then I can place this on that scrap of paper. So just different ways of thinking about how you want to cut things out. Okay, so I will be right back. Again, 2 of each of the lid and the base portion, right? 6 of each of the flaps, and then 3 of each of these. And I'm not looking at pockets or anything like that right now, so that will be that. I'll be right back. I will say as I'm cutting, if you don't want to do another base piece, like for this piece that goes, you know what I'm saying, they layer together. So this little inner box, you don't have to, because basically you're going to cover it anyway, right? You're just going to place it down. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but that saves you, you know, a piece if you don't want to do that. This is crazy. Look how I cut this one with the smallest little margin there. Came right out. Okay, again, that was exactly 2 A2 pieces of cardstock. The other one is like Swiss cheese, so I already tossed it to the side there. Okay, so what we're going to do is just assemble this now. If you want to do pockets, you can do that right now while pieces are flat. You know, you can add them on later. In the instruction, they will say to go ahead and add those on now, but let's look at this. So we have 2 of these guys. Again, one is slightly larger. It's the lid. Hopefully you can kind of see that. One set. So larger, smaller. These are the sides for that. Again, do you want to decorate it now or when it's put together? That's up to you. Larger set, 2 of them. Smaller set, the sides for your lid. And then these guys are going to be our pieces that go around, right, to make the flaps and everything. So again, I chose the 2 smaller sizes to play with. Do whatever you like. So maybe we start off with our base pieces. These are our base pieces. And you're going to put 2 of these together with the flaps in the center. That's what I was saying. If you want to put this on top of this one, right? Because that's how you're going to make it. You really don't need that bottom one. I mean, you can just glue them right down, right? But it'll be sturdier and all that good stuff. So I'm going to take these guys. I'm going to score them already because I like to have a nice score line. So I'm going to go and do that with all of these guys for both sizes. All right, I'm going to score those glue tabs. Same thing for these. And then also just get this scored up and ready. So it's just down there. And the 2 glue tabs along the bottom. Or the top, I guess, however you look at that. And then that side glue tab. Okay, for both sizes. Get everything scored up. Okay, so I'm going to put the larger ones to the side for right now because we're going to focus on this guy. And the larger one's going to be made exactly the same way. So again, these are the larger pieces. So we're going to put those to the side. We're going to need these pieces for that. For the smaller piece, we're just going to need the flaps, okay? And I'm going to make it so that the rough cut side is facing in because I think that's the best look for this. And I always like using a wet glue because unless you tear it, it's not going to go anywhere for a 3D project. So let's come in here. Rough cut side. All right, this is a nice side. Again, you're going to glue this to the other base, so it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see that piece, but that's all right. So I'm going to put a little glue on here. Oopsie. And just get that glue down. And of course, we're going to do all 6 sides. And I always take a little peek back here just to make sure it's lined up nicely, nothing's impeding the score line, and that it's right on that line, right? That's what I'm looking for. And we'll go around and you'll do the exact same thing for any of the layers. Again, if you want to add the pockets before you adhere them, you know, go for it. I'm sure it'd make it easier because now I have this one piece that I'm going to add pockets to, but you can put the pockets on before. Now this size doesn't have a pocket. I'm talking about the medium size and the larger size. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and add these. Again, always making sure they're lined up nicely. That looks good. A little bit. There we go. So I'll add all 6. Okay, so I just glued all those in. And again, regardless of the size, same thing. So now I'm going to take this with a nice side facing me. Again, this doesn't have to be construction paper like this kind of thing I like. It could be already pattern paper, you know, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm going to pop that on there. And again, just making sure everything's good as far as where I'm putting it, that everything's moves. And I'm not impeding these score lines in any way. That looks pretty good. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do this side first where I glue it on the bottom, you know what I'm saying? So then I just add this on top so that it's going to be as wide as it needs to be because it's a negligible up. See how it just kind of then falls in place, okay? So however you want to do that, but either way, you're just gluing your glue tabs in between 2 layers, okay? And that is that base piece. Very cute. And then our lid. So the lid, you're definitely going to want the 2 pieces. Again, we'll do some decoration in just a moment, but for now, we're just going to glue these guys. And I think I'm going to glue these together in a strip. You know, it's whatever you want. Well, okay, let's go ahead and go for it. So let me think. I want to put this on here. Yeah, so if we're going to do it this way, you can also just glue them into a frame and then add them on. But this is the nice side, rough cut side's facing. So I'm going to run it along here. Okay, so that looks good. Just holding the one piece. And then bring this guy over. And I always end up working in the air, but you don't have to do that, of course. I'll bring that guy over here. And you can add them all and then do the glue tabs, put them together in a strip and then add them on, you know, whatever you think is best for how you like to work. And glue right to that edge too, because I really like everything glued down nicely. Glue tab definitely next, because this one doesn't have a glue tab. You're gonna bring it in. Just make sure those meet up nicely. I guess that's what's nice about doing one piece at a time, is that you can definitely look at this and make sure you're right on those edges. Then if you had to strip and then you bring it over, you're like, oh, that could have been a little bit more this way or a little more that way. But now you're making sure that you have that nice spacing by 2 pieces at a time. That looks good. And it looks like I'm just walking you through this together in real time, guys. That's what I love about Nuvo Deluxe. It holds on pretty quick. So again, we could have put these pieces on this, you know, this way, and then added the top piece, however you like to construct. And then now this last bit. And again, I still have to glue those glue tabs that go from one to the other. Yeah, that's nice and square right there. Looks good. And bring this last piece in. Maybe while I do that, I actually put some glue on this other piece, because that makes it easy. Okay, so I'm holding this and also holding this bottom tab with my fingers. Okay, and then I'll just go and put some glue on that. Stick that together, and a little bit of glue on this one, and stick that together, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, and so rough cut side, nice side. I'm gonna put the rough cut side facing down. And pop that in there. But again, you could have done it this way and then added this part, whatever it is, to get my fingers in there really well. I'm gonna not use my fingers, I'm gonna use a bone folder and just get that squished down in there. Okay. Nice and sturdy. I'll show you how this fits together, and then I'll do the exact same thing for our next layer. Okay, it's the exact same construction. Okay, so essentially you have this guy and this guy, and you know, they're gonna fit in together like that. Oh, that is so cute. What a cute little gift box just by itself. I mean, this sizing on this one, I'll give you the sizing on the other one once I construct it too, is 1 7/8 inch deep, so almost 2 inches deep. At the very, you know, hexagon side, it's like 2 3/4, just under 2 1/2 in the other direction. So nice size. You put plenty of, you know, little gifts in there or however. Okay, so I'm gonna do the next one, and then we'll just glue them together. But maybe you want to do your decorations before we do that, or however. Okay, but I'll be right back. I'm going to construct this one exactly the same. That's our base. This is our lid, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I just finished our first layer, because it's going to be the larger one, and I'll give you a quick measure of this. I can kind of maybe give you an idea of how big the biggest one is. This is 2 5/8 tall, right? about 3 1/8. You know, in this hexagon area, it's always hard for me to measure like what sizing that would be. And then the width of each side here is 1 7/8, almost 2 inches, right? So let's get that going. And I mean, again, it can be a standalone thing on its own, just this too, right? Really cute. So we are going to put this one inside the other one, but since we're talking about measurements, let me see if I can kind of give you an idea. The largest one, that's the lid, so this is the base. So the base is just under 5 inches, so that's a good size, right? For that part. And then the flaps here on the very largest one is, I would say 2 3/4, and then about 4 1/4, almost just over 4 1/4 inches tall. Okay, so if that gives you some idea of the largest one. And then again, we're gonna basically glue this one into here, right? And we have that little exploding box, and then we'll have the other one in the center. Of course, you can make, you know, every single layer. I'm just going to show you a few steps for that. So I will say we do have this pocket. Again, the pocket you have for the very largest layer, and then that second to the smallest layer. So it's this one. And I'll just cut a couple of these. Maybe we'll do 3 of them. Okay, a few of them. So we'll do 3 of these. We'll do some matte layering. And then we have the matte layers for all of these pieces too. And I think since we have that pretty paper, I don't want to cut into it as an inlay, you know, that cuts away quite a bit of the decorative paper. So I'm going to use it just as matte layers. So for the smaller one on the inside, we obviously 6, right? And then and you can decorate the lids. I don't know that there's too much more for the sides other than the pockets. I don't see matte layers for like these areas here, right? But you know, pictures and cut pieces yourself. Maybe you want to measure them, cut those out. You can probably use some of these to layer in and then just cut the glue tab off, right? So that also helps you matte layer to a certain extent there. So anyhow, and then the lid, right? The top portion. So for this inside one, you're going to use the smaller one, the one that's for like the base, not the lid, this guy, right? And it's going to matte layer completely, you know, excuse me, my goodness. It gives you a nice matte layer because it's basically the size of the base. So you're going to have a little creamy colored edge around here. That one does not have an inlay piece, but I'm doing matte layers of paper anyway, so I don't really need that. And the next one I'll need is, we did at the bottom 2, right? So this one, which again is the inside, it's basically the one that's this size, for this guy. Okay, so I have those 2. So I'm just going to run these through pretty paper. Again, they gave you, for this little guy, we have the 2 rectangles here, so you can do 2 matte layers at a time, which is nice. So I'll just need to run it through 3 times, right, to get the 6 pieces I need. And then the next one up would be this one, right? So it's these guys. So again, we have 2 of them. And I'll come back with some decorative pieces for that. And then we'll just go from there. But let me show you. So I'm just going to take this pretty paper, and you know, you can mix and match. Maybe I'll stick with certain colors. I'll probably go with the deeper colors. This one has a smaller view. I think I like that. So probably for this one and for this one, we'll do these guys so they coordinate that way. And then, ooh, I love the dark side though. Okay, you know what? Okay, let's use the black side. I really like that. So it'll be those 2. I'll just kind of give them a little tapey tape so that doesn't move. And then, you know, the sides can be exactly the same or just another pattern that you think coordinates. So I'm going to look here. That's cute. I do kind of like something simple like this. Just for the edges. Let me see. Oh, maybe this one. Okay, let's go with this one. Ooh, it has the foil. I know, you know, I said I would use the foil side, but I'm going to use these guys for the side pieces. So for all these to coordinate. And you can run them through at the same time so you can get a lot of those cut at once. Okay, so that's what I use for that. This, I'm going to use cream colored paper just like the base that we used. So I'll cut 3 of those and then 3 of this in the dark paper. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, so I have some pieces here. And so just simply going to glue our matte layers on, of course, but let's go with this guy real quick, the pockets. Again, the instruction does show to go ahead and stick these pockets on before you assemble your project. Sorry, my allergies get the better of my throat. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to apply these first. But, and you can put them on the outside, and you can put, basically they're meant to go on the inside. So I like to score things just to have that scored up, but you can, of course, put your matte layers on first. There we go. So pretty. Okay, so I'll matte layer all those guys. I'm gonna let that sit for just a moment before I place it. And then these guys, we're just gonna pop them. There are matte layers here. And this paper is so pretty. I will say there's pumpkins on here that are kind of like tossed around. So what I did for the pockets, the matte layers, is if there was a little pumpkin that was a certain direction, I went ahead and stuck it on, or put my die so it would be facing up. See how the notch is here, so it's facing up. I don't know. Oh, that's almost exactly the same part of the paper. How funny. Or like the pattern. Okay, and then these guys are going to go on the sides, and I'll do the same thing for the little guy, of course. So I'm just going to place these guys all around. Try to do it nice and straight and centered. A little more that way. A little more straight would be good. There you go. Okay, so these, 6. And then the little guy, same thing. Just gonna pop this on here and add the side pieces on the lid. Okay, so we're decorating the lid more than anything. And then this I'm gonna go ahead and bring that over and glue these down. So a little glue here. Oopsie. Okay, I got some on the back side there. And again, you could do this prior to putting this together or whenever. Sorry, I'm sticking that one side down first at the base, and then bring it up here. And just really snuggling, getting it real snug into that crease there. So I'm going to hold it for a second, and then I'm going to make sure that this still closes. So there we go. So that's in the right spot. Okay. So it's going to be a hair above the score line, of course, because again, you want that to really stay. And that's kind of why I did mine second, not put them on the flaps and then brought them in, because I feel like the flaps are going to be kind of different spots. Okay, so that's why I did it now and not earlier. Okay, so I'll add 3, 1 here and 1 here, right? And I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm telling you, with every layer, everything you add, it just feels sturdier and feels so nice. But anyway, I'm just going around flattening this guy out really well, because I did use that really sturdy cardstock, and so it just kind of wants to do its own thing. But look how pretty that is. And you can imagine all 6 of them done up if you wanted. And then you can close it up, and then you have your cute little lid ready to go. I mean, it's a beautiful paper bundle. This whole bundle is really nice. So we have that guy. Again, this will be our outer piece for my creation. And then we have this little guy for the inside, right? So I talked for a whole 15 seconds and then my voice still went out. Okay, so we're going to glue this guy down. I wonder... Maybe I'll leave the lid on for now. Like I said, we did put the bottom so it looks perfectly good. I mean, if you want to keep in just 2 separate things, you can do that. But the whole point is to open it with the little explosion kind of thing going. So I'm going to glue this guy down really well. I mean, if you want to decorate this bottom part too with like a matte layer, you can definitely do that. And that adds another layer of color right under there. Let's see here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing where the center is. That looks pretty good. I'm looking at the points and, left and right. I think that's good. And actually, you don't have to do that. If you want to do them offset, you can do that too. You have plenty of room to do that. But I'm kind of layering them in the way they should. And we'll let that sit for a moment. Again, I can push down on it, but I think that's going to hold. And then we have clasps. So I want to show you that in the image, I think, or in the example, I think they use 1. But for me, if you have 1, I mean, that's fine. I feel like it should have 2, right? 1 on either side is what I'm thinking. So let's see here. Let's do that. So I Got this little guy. So for each one, you're gonna need this portion. And again, I mean, if you want to hide this underneath the matte layer, we could have done that. I don't think there's any issue with that. It looks nice, so I'll probably run it through like a gold, or like if you have bronze, right, to get that bronze going again. And then one of these. So this is for each one, you're gonna need a set of these and one of these guys. So I'm just gonna run this through a couple times through some paper that coordinates. I mean, it could be just maybe some brown paper, honestly. I like doing golds and things like that, but maybe we'll just go with some basic paper. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I also cut out the word memories. I will say the I has a little dot above it, and it's actually right here, so I will hold on to that. We'll put that on there. And so these guys, again, you know, you just find the side that you would like to, you know, put your closure on. Let's see, maybe one here. So I'm going to glue that down first. Or you glue these on first and then see where you want this to be. But either one, whichever way you would like. Pin the lid down on there, okay. It's good, I'm just kind of lining it up in the center. One on the opposite side. Okay. That's pretty in the brown. And while that's setting up, we have the little latches on the sides. Maybe we put the memories across the top here. There's kind of a thin wording, so I'm going to put that on here. And then do we have background dyes for these guys? I'm just going to go with the word by itself. Let me see. Or should we... Okay, maybe I'll do it this way. So there's a latch in the front and in the back, and this can just be right here. Little memories, and then again I have that little dot for the eye. I hope. Yeah, it went over here. You can use a little pearl, a little gem or something like that would be great. Hold on, let me see. I'm always misplacing my little like tools. Okay, here's one. Also, I left the center of the E in there, so I need to pick that out. Just saw that. Okay, we're gonna let that set up. Take this out. There we go. I'm gonna hold that down, and I'll be right back. Oh, actually, before we do that. So we have these guys, and we do want them to set up. So let's go ahead and bend them like that. These two sides need to glue together, and since I have glue on my hand, I'll just use that. So at this portion, right, so these other two flaps are going to glue onto our project. So you just want to glue them together like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the other set, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so, I mean, this does have some flex, so we'll do what we can. So like I said, maybe you want to glue this down first and then put the little latch part to match up. But I do use a wet glue, so take a little moment there. And yeah, it has to go this way, right? Okay. So we have that, and then we can kind of see where that lines up, making sure the lid's down. It's pretty good, maybe like right here. Okay. I'm going to push down just a little bit, enough so I can get this off. And then just hold it down. And I'll do the exact same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to hold that till it doesn't move. And I'll do exactly the same thing. Put a little glue, line it up, and make sure it's holding on. Okay, guys, and there is our box. Again, if you want to tie it up with a little ribbon or something, I mean, that'd be great. But right now, the little latch pretty much holds it themselves. So we have that with the memories. Again, you have the cutter parts, all those gorgeous things in the little paper pack that you can use. And so let's open this guy up. It's very pretty. And then you have your little pockets. Again, you can do several pockets. And then you have the other layer. And again, I use very stiff things. But once you fill this out, you're going to have a lot more weight on those, on everything. Again, for me, it's treats. It's treats, guys. I think this is so cute. It's going to be really, really fun. So thanks for watching. I hope that gave you some idea of how to, step by step, of course, you have the other layers that you can continue working. It's going to make a really sizable project. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're having a great birthday week, seeing all the new bundles and die sets and things that Tonic has brought. And I'll have everything linked in the description box. Again, for the US and the UK, I'll have images coming up. And I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.